All right, well, welcome everybody. And next in our series of World Champion interviews, I'm joined by Andy Moore, 2006 World Champion. So coming up to 20 years since you won the world title. And we'll start off with that and then we'll come right up to sort of the present day. And obviously a lot's changed in that 20 years, both in RC and your life as well. So let's jump back to that time in Italy, 2006. You were racing for HPI, Team Orion at the time then. Sort of question I ask everybody in this stage. What do you remember of that World Championship win, and particularly like the last couple of laps in the final?
Yeah, I mean most of it. Yes, it's a long time ago, but I do still remember obviously the last few laps.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people have seen the videos obviously online from those finals, and it was one of those races where the last final I knew I didn't need to win.
Yep.
So when Masami was catching me, I knew if I just let him go, I'd cross the line and take the title. So.
Yeah.
So those last few laps I remember, the rest of it not so much, but yeah, it's a long time ago.
And in fact 2006 was a pretty good year for you. You won the Worlds, you won the Euros a few weeks later.
Yep.
Totally different track conditions there, massive open track,
yeah.
And even that was the time when we were going between brushed and brushless motors as well. So many people probably won't even know what brushed motors are, but that was a sort of changeover point.
Yeah, I mean, we pretty much directly after the World Championship, me and Oscar, who was Team Orion at the time,
Yep.
we went to that track and we tested brush and brushless also. They had some brushless prototype stuff, which
Yep.
was very, very early. And the driving style was very different.
Yep.
The motors were quite fragile, but it was quite clear that it was so much faster
Yep.
that if you wanted a chance to win, then you needed to use it. So. In the end it all worked out, and that was another good race. So yeah, I think it was less than a month after the World Championship. Took the Euros as well. So.
Really good. And thinking of that time, you know, going back to that sort of time in RC, there was yourself, there was Masami you mentioned, Tsuchihara, Mark Reinhard, some of those names people know coming back almost today. But what was the racing scene for your point of view like? You were a professional racer at that time as well, or semi-professional?
Actually, at that time I was working for HPI Europe, so
Yep.
I actually had a day job, or a normal office day-to-day job.
Yep.
And then I would travel around wherever we needed to go with the race team.
Yeah.
So mainly it was only me and Hara at the time. But then things changed a little bit after the World Championship, and then I was able to become like full-time professional and only focus on that. So.
And if we think of those sorts of races back in that day as well, a huge amount, you know, races now people go and test and practice for it as well. But for that World Championship, an awful lot of effort went in from you, from the teams, but from all the teams as well.
Yeah, there was. I think I went 2 times. We went for one private test, and then there was the official World Championship warm-up.
Yeah.
So we were there for a fairly decent amount of time, but it wasn't too crazy. Not as much as I think some of these guys do now.
Even testing for an ETS race.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, which is a little bit crazy, but yeah, there's a lot that went into it for sure. Yeah.
And I suppose then as well, you know, now it's a lot of fine-tuning with the cars. We talked about like brushed and brushless then. A lot of it was actually just about how much power you could find in the car as well, wasn't it?
Back then, I mean, the last time that I think I really used a brush motor was the World Championship race. But even going back before that, it was all about battery power. Mostly. The brush motors, they were all quite similar. I mean, there were some fine details that were a little bit different, but it was all about having the best batteries with the good voltage, the low internal resistance. Sometimes you needed the extra run time, but it was definitely about having a lot of batteries available to you from your sponsor. So.
And since that World Championship, I guess you obviously kept racing electric touring cars, and that was your kind of primary class at that time. But then HPI sort of morphed into HB racing, and you sort of also did a bit more gas racing over the next few years, coinciding with then a move from the UK to Thailand for yourself.
Yeah, I mean, first of all, when it went from sort of HPI to HB racing, it was already a hot bodies car when I won the World Championship.
Yep.
And then gradually, they brought out some other cars. We started to do some nitro racing. So we had the European Championship, I think, was in Italy, 2011 or 12, maybe the first time that I really started to run a nitro car.
Yeah.
And then we had the World Championships in Thailand.
Yes.
And then probably from that point on, I started to spend more and more time in Thailand.
Yeah.
But then, a full-time move there was about 6 or 7 years ago. So,
Okay. And what was the reason for the move?
Yeah, just because I like the hot weather. We spend a lot of time there for testing.
Maybe it's not a difficult question to say, why would you rather live in Thailand or the UK?
Yeah, I mean, it's too wet and windy in the UK, but no, I mean, of course, it is very, very different, but we were spending a lot of time there for testing. It's also easy to get around Asia, so in the end, I figured it was a good move, try something different.
Yeah. And so you did a lot of nitro then. What was that driven by your sponsors or driven by your own choice? Were you sort of starting to prefer nitro racing then, or was that what HB was sort of pushing?
I mean, we also were trying to develop a new car a new electric touring car at that time, and it was just mixing both. But yeah, it was a small team basically, so we had to do both at the end of the day. So, and
then I guess the big move was Infinity kind of coming onto the scene, and you were one of the drivers that moved over to Infinity fairly early on, and that very much shifted the focus almost solely to nitro racing for you. You've done a lot of racing, particularly around the Thailand and the Asia region as well, travelling to World Championships too as well. So what's it been like, what's that move to Infinity like, and kind of then almost focusing solely on nitro racing?
Yeah, I mean, it was a big change in terms of, I'd been with Hot Bodies for like 11, 12 years, I think.
Yeah.
But moving over, I mean, everybody was, Kenji-san was very welcoming and friendly, and it was nice to try something a little bit different, more on the nitro side.
Yeah.
But there was still EP in the background, and there was always an EP project, so plenty of testing and stuff like that going on. Yeah.
And now, for you, what's day-to-day look like? You're still a full-time racer in a way, but obviously you're doing a lot more work behind the scenes for Infinity now. Can you tell us a little bit about if there's a typical day for Andy Moore, what does it look like?
Yeah, I mean, I'm not solely a driver, let's say, so much anymore. We still race a lot in Asia, but I've not been traveling back to the European races. So this is the first time I've been back racing in Europe since before COVID.
Long time.
But yeah, there's other stuff behind the scenes as well that I do. So we have testing for different platforms.
Yep.
And then there's some other help with, let's say, office work behind the scenes, and some other duties that I've got to take care of as well. So yeah, there's plenty going on.
And I guess in Thailand, the RC scene is really big as well. So there's a lot of kind of customer support activities as well for you to do, sort of trackside, even if you're at a track, maybe not always racing yourself too.
Yeah, we have a good customer base for all, well, at least for the 10 scale and 8 scale.
Yeah.
The EP side of things like dropped away a little bit, but now we obviously have the new platform coming, and there's people eager to spend the money, I hope, and we've got plenty of people to look after and take care of. So.
And kind of putting both your hats on, both as the driver and kind of part of the sort of working in the team aspect as well. Bruno kind of coming onto the team was massive news for Infinity and for the whole RC scene. So how did the team react to that? When did you sort of first get wind that might be happening, and how's the team kind of settled, and how's they accepted Bruno into your team?
Yeah, I mean, I heard some things a little bit earlier than others maybe, but I think everybody was really excited. I mean, we obviously knew there was a new project coming, and to have somebody with such a high skill level and the experience and everything, as well as with Francesco, then everybody's been really into it. I think it's good for everybody also, and I think it's nice for him also to have a change and focus on something. I mean, the same but different. But it's been really good. Yeah, really, really good.
And can you almost draw some parallels? You said you were with HBI for 11 years and then moved over to Infinity. Bruno probably with X-Ray for a similar amount of time, and again making that move. So can you kind of see the reason for that, the challenge that's kind of going to be there for, or the new challenge is going to be there?
I mean, I can. I mean, he's also been with X-Ray before for a long time. So wanting to try and do something a little bit different, I understand it, and I think it's also interesting for him also to integrate into a new team with different people and see how it feels. What
do you see the next few years looking like for yourself then, with racing, obviously with the EP program kind of really ramping up now for Infinity, but obviously you've still got the gas programs as well, which you're heavily involved in, and the sort of kind of day-to-day work as well you're doing for Infinity. If we sat down in maybe 5 years' time, what do you think we'd have talked about happening in that 5-year period?
Well, I'd like to think. I mean, I'm still enjoying what I'm doing, so I'd like to think that it can still be basically the same thing. yeah, having some responsibilities behind the scenes and still doing some racing, doing plenty of testing for all the different categories. Yeah, doing the reports and things that I've got to do. Yeah, still making videos, also trying to help newer people who are not super detailed. They don't know exactly what they need to be doing. A lot of our team drivers are doing that kind of thing now on social media, so try to keep doing that and just get more people involved if we can as well. So locally, we have plenty of young drivers actually in Thailand, and try to help them and nurture them. But yeah, just as long as I'm still involved, I'll be happy.
You'll be happy.
Sure.
And do you think about race wins so much now? You know, that answer there's very much focused on actually expanding the company, expanding RC in general. Do you think so much about your own racing, or is that definitely you can see the shift in your responsibilities over that way now?
I mean, I haven't been in the competitive electric scene for a long time, and yeah, it's a little bit difficult feeling because you know you've done it in the past, but I'm also getting older, and I think that side of it, I have accepted that it's difficult, but just to be involved in the team and try to contribute and help, I'm okay with that. And the same for the other classes. Yeah, I mean, it's not like I'm coming here and it doesn't matter what happens. Of course, I want to win, but I'm also realistic in the expectations.
And so, final question then. You touched on then that piece of, you know, part of the responsibility being how do you expand and help new people into the sport as well. So if you think back to your sort of journey, going back to pre your World Championship win in 2006, and you know the stuff that you learned from Hara, your teammate then, people like Masami around, David Spashit, I know you were teammates with before that as well. Social media's transformed RC, and obviously that's definitely a way that we need to connect with new people, with people coming into the scene now. Is there any tips that you wanted to give your younger self that you wish you kind of maybe knew back then?
I think for me, when I was young, I was very, very shy. So I was always very reluctant to go to another driver with more experience and ask for help. It was my dad who always did it. But if you can push yourself to just go and ask the people who are at the top, who have the knowledge, for sure it helps. So just be as forward as possible. Don't worry about asking questions to anybody. I mean, all the top team drivers, they're open to it. I'm sure there are. There's nobody going to say, oh, leave me alone, go away. So I wish I'd have been a bit more forward myself back then, and maybe I could have speeded up the process of becoming better. So just go for it. Go and ask questions. And
maybe things like social media opens that up to people as well now, because maybe it's easier for them to write a text message to you or a Facebook message, whatever it's going to be, than to come and find you at a track and talk face to face.
Oh yeah, of course. I mean, everybody's accessible now. You can send a direct message or whatever, then you can speak to whoever you want to. So yeah.
But overall then, you've experienced racing over that more than 20-year period. You've seen it certainly on the European side, on the Asian side as well. It's evolved a lot during that time. Your own racing career's evolved a lot during that time. What's your kind of view of where RC sits right now? Let's just kind of end on that. Is it in a good place? Do you start to see it sort of picking back up again now?
I think it's in a reasonable place, but a lot of things in the nitro side are very, very expensive. I mean, engines are extremely expensive. And from an electric touring car side of things, I mean, I can only follow online from what's exactly happening here, but it looks healthy. I'm not so sure about the national scene in different countries. I know it looks like in the UK things have dropped off a little bit. I'm not sure what that reason is. So I would say it's reasonably healthy, but my concern would be overall with modified and having people come up from the slower classes. That still doesn't seem to happen. I don't know the way to fix that. But overall, it looks like it's okay. I wouldn't say it's growing massively, but I mean, from an ETS standpoint, there's a lot of people here.
Well, I think that's a nice way to end this then, kind of looking towards the future. Thanks very much for your time to look back on your racing career, tell us about all your experiences, and thanks very much for joining us on this video.
Yeah, no problem.
There we go, 2006 World Champion Andy Moore.
Sorry about that in the middle. I don't know what the fuck I was thinking.
I could see your train going somewhere, and then
I was like, yeah, Bruno. No, it's gone.